Viewers of Last Comic Standing know Matt Kirshen for his youthful looks and his quirky British sense of humor. Matt has headlined all over Europe, North America, Asia, even in Dubai. Growing up Britain, where did you grow up?
I grew up in London, and that's still where I live, which is great. It's a really cool comedy scene, and I don't know, I still like England, but I'm growing to like America though. You guys are nicer. You're politer. You really are. And like, I know you're looking at me like incredulous, and it really.
Have you been to Canada?
No, seriously.
Have you been to New York?
Canada is nicer still. I mean, that's but like, it still amazes me how I get so much grace because you guys think that Brits are polite, and we are not. We are mean-spirited, arrogant people, but we sound delightful. It's a confidence trick. I don't know how we've got away with this for so long, but we do.
Give me an example of like.
I mean,
can you say something to me and sound polite?
Hugh Grant is because he's still well known all over the world for having been caught with a prostitute on Sunset Boulevard. Oh, he's such a charmer. He is. I wish he married my daughter. He's like a modern-day prince.
Very good point. And now, growing up in London, so did you get started in the rough and tumble comedy clubs of? I don't know why I think London is rough and tumble, but I do.
Like it's still sawdust on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, people with mead walking around, chicken legs and everything, and just throwing them into the fire. More. Some Henry VIII type figure at the end of a table who either approves or you get beheaded. I don't know. It's that's where I got started. But yes, that's a long-winded way of saying
the Iron Maiden.
That's where I started doing comedy. Then you start traveling around the world and stuff. And Britain's kind of like the comedy scene there. For some reason, it's kind of keyed into all these other gigs around the world. I think Brits tend to travel outside the UK a lot more, than Americans do outside the US. But that's partly because it's tiny in comparison. You know,
it's a small
like
country.
in terms of pure areas. Like it's the size of. It's smaller than a lot of your states.
Right.
Because you get British people over here will get like, Americans don't travel outside the country and whatever proportion don't have a passport. And you kind of go, well, yeah, but they don't need one to travel anywhere in America or even Canada or Mexico until recently. I don't know how many Brits would have a passport if you could get anywhere from London to like Moscow to Lisbon on your library card.
It is different. We have so much of an expansive area.
You got an entire continent to yourselves, pretty much, and
it's not enough.
We got little islands. Yeah.
Well,
we need more.
Do you think because of that we don't have we have a uniquely American view? We don't have as much of a global view. Like for example, Sarah Palin, she can see Russia and Canada, so she feels like she has more of a global view.
Yeah, Palin's kind of terrifying. I mean, I don't want to go too much into American politics because it's not my politics, and I don't know, but like I think I'm fairly safe grounds with Washington State and going like if Palin gets in, it's going to be in spite of you and not because of you guys. Like it's really scary. She could be the president. Like she could all it takes is for a couple of states to swing the other way, and then McCain to get a bit overexcited at the inauguration, and then that last string on the heart to pop, and then I mean, like it's still a bit. People are like, is McCain up to the task of being president? I don't know if he's up to the task of being told that he's president. That could that could be the end of it.
I won.
Yeah,
wow,
exactly.
cool.
It's you. Okay. Now it's your second in command.
So, would the British perspective be, or your perspective? She's a little scary.
I think she really is very scary. Like the more you look into her policies, she's still like, and amazingly short-sighted. I mean, she's just like, she's still in favor of sort of abstinence-only sex education, even though her own daughter is living proof that it's a failure.
Well, now, you guys have had ladies running the show, a lot over in Britain. You've had a queen for years. Margaret Thatcher was a great leader.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that people are kind of, the fact that she's a woman has nothing to do with the fact that she's terrifying. A guy with her opinions as well, I'd find equally scary. It's just for some reason they're like, we didn't get Hillary, so maybe we should vote for this other woman who has exactly the opposite opinions to her on nearly every subject.
Did you watch Sarah Palin do that? When she was asked that question about, I'll have to get back to you, or something else. No, the beauty queen question. She was asked about being in the swimsuit. She does this. She goes, well, I don't know about that. I can't do her voice, but that swimsuit.
I don't know about that
swimsuit thing. And then she goes, seriously. And I was like, whoa.
It was bad enough watching you do that impression. I really want to see
sorry
her do
about
that.
the tongue, dude.
How's abstinence sound now?
I don't show my tongue to anybody, though. You're pretty special. So, all right. So you are worried about our politics?
I don't. It's just. I mean, like, it could be brilliant in the next 4 years. I mean, it couldn't have done worse than Bush did. And like, I don't know. And Blair as well. Blair, I mean, like, started off with so much promise and then went headlong into the war with you guys. We're just as much to blame. It really is. It's embarrassing when you travel around the rest of the world and you're like, sorry. Sorry, guys, we did that.
Sorry.
I'll just try and pretend to be Canadian or...
Well, you do play all over the continent, including France. And now I've always thought the French and the British weren't, all that hip to each other to start with. Who do you do British humor for in France?
The British.
Oh, okay, so there's the expatriates there.
The gigs in France that I've done were... There's this little festival up in a ski resort that some guy set up a few years ago. Because of that, the whole UK comedy circuit can now either ski or snowboard. But you go out there and it really is just British.
It's mostly British. And now in Europe, just about everybody speaks English, right?
To a large extent.
To some extent, yeah. Now, what about Dubai? Now, Dubai, as we understand it, is it's very upscale Middle Eastern country. They've got that big indoor mall with the ski area in it. And
they're. I mean, that's a strange country. Yeah. I mean, because they have so much money, and that it was all oil originally, and now that's running out. So they're now trying to channel it into tourism and industry. So they're just spending billions upon billions of just building this weird fantasy world, just this whim of rich people. They're building their own islands,
islands that in the shape of the countries of the world, or in the shape of the earth. You see those
I know,
from
which
the
is
air?
a waste. If I were gonna do that, I'd build an island in the shape of the words "astronauts are jerks." I mean, they're missing a golden opportunity there, as far as I'm concerned.
Did you have fun there?
I kind of... Well, I was only there for like 2 days. It was a very poorly planned trip by a promoter that's now out of business. Because they just flew us in there on the day and you just did this show. And again, though, that was... The majority of the audience were expats. And that, people who used to live in the UK or America or Australia and have now moved to Dubai. And it's a really strange atmosphere. Because they're these sort of people who've come from all walks of life, but then got a bit of money and then just tried to create this new settlement where they've created themselves as the upper class. And it's a really odd place. It's almost like a weird throwback to 100 years ago, but combined with modern technology and this really curious makeup of the whole population.
Speaking of technology, your mom recently started text messaging you.
She did, yes. That's lovely. I mean, because I'm traveling around a lot, and she sort of got the hang of emailing a while ago. That's what she's now tracking me everywhere on the internet. Now she started texting, and she's sort of not quite got the hang of. It's the acronyms. That's what throws her. The abbreviations, like LOL, which like in text messaging, that's laughs out loud, right? Haha, I found that thing funny. LOL. It's pretty much. It's almost a word in its own right, isn't it? I'm imagining in a few years' time, and I'll do shows, and I'll tell a joke, and the audience would just go lol. Yeah, it's like lol, right? Yeah, man, right, ruffle.
Lol, yeah.
But in my mum's mind, it means lots of love. Which I mean, that's cute.
She thinks it means lots of love.
Which is lovely. And now I've worked that out. That's fine. That's cool. But at first, I was getting these mundane text messages off her that had inexplicable laughter at the end of them, like some mad nervous tick. Like, I've left your keys on the windowsill. Hope you have a safe flight.
I packed snakes in your luggage.
Yeah.
Charming and really funny. Matt, good luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
We're going to give all the information on the shows this weekend, including the all-ages show Saturday at 5.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, because you get people who, 16, 17-year-olds who are fans of the show and generally can't come to the comedy club. So.
And you're clean.
I am, yeah. I mean, for the most part.
The late shows, your material is clean.
The late shows, I might throw in a couple of slightly less clean things, but, I quite happily just talk about whatever, and it's cool that, if they can watch me on TV, then they should be able to watch me in the show.
You are youthful. How do you? I mean, I know you're in your late 20s, but you look.
I do look very. I mean, I'm 28 now, I'm nearly 30, and I still get carded on the way into my own shows.
Have you ever not gotten into your own show? Have you ever not
no, I've always managed to really blag in. That seriously, I know you might think this is a fake, but if you don't let me in, then the audience is going to be annoyed.
Matt Kirshen at Laughs Comedy Spot tonight, 8 and 10. Tomorrow, 8 and 10. And the All Ages Show Saturday at 5. All the info's at BobRivers.com. Be well.
Thank you.